Good evening everyone, I'm Autumn Flame and today we're going to be looking at the combat demo for Colony Ship, a post-Earth role-playing game, which is made by Iron Tower Studios, which also made the zombie survival game Dead State, which is an isometric turn-based game about zombie survival. This one moving more into a post-Earth dystopia, cyberpunkish sort of game. We're going to have a quick look at what the game is and a little bit of the gameplay. So for our options, we have a standard resolution, got everything set up here. In gameplay, we have RNG type, we have heavily adjusted, limits the number of consecutive misses in a row based on your THC or to hit chance. Keep in mind that it also applies to your enemies. Lightly adjusted, a card deck method, numbers are drawn like cards from a deck, meaning you can't draw the same number twice until the deck is reshuffled. Or true random, the freedom to roll 100 times in a row because why not? For me, I much prefer to play on true random, giving you the realist nature of game. I don't really like adjusted or lightly adjusted. Controls is not really much in the moment except for lock mouse to window and things like that. So I'm going to start a new game. The purpose of this beta is to test and evaluate Colony Ship's combat system and different ways the character can specialize for combat. Unlike the beta, the full game will have a branching quests and dialogues, diplomacy, stealth, multiple quest solutions, and different paths throughout the game. Combat will only be one of many approaches, but because combat is such a mechanically complex system, it is important for us to thoroughly test it early. Combat is designed to be hard but not impossible. To advance in the arena, you will need to experiment with how different kinds of skills interact with different kinds of gear, how different tactical options such as attack types work, what kind of strategies are best for different scenarios, melee versus ranged foes, larger groups of enemies, etc. Combat is especially challenging as you are learning its intricacies, but the challenge is intended to teach players not to use brute force approaches and treat combat as a tactical puzzle. Victory is absolutely within your grasp. This demo has been extensively tested for 3 months with over 50 players who beat all fights with different builds, weapons, and tactics. If you need advice, we'll be happy to walk you through the mechanics. Some art assets are still missing, extra portraits, hairstyles, beards, many character customization options. We expect to add them in the next few weeks. The interface will be improved as well, with now focuses on mechanics and balance. Thank you for playing, and we hope you enjoy it. So, starting off, we'll make ourselves a character. We'll just pick something, name our character Autumn. So we have a few basic just skin coloring, faces, a few different styles of hair which really don't differentiate and won't really matter too much at this point. But we'll start off here. We have our stat point. Strength modifies melee damage and affects interactions requiring brute force. Constitution determines hit points and implants. Tolerance affects interactions requiring endurance and fortitude. Dexterity determines action points, affects interactions requiring speed and reaction. Perception modifies accuracy with all weapons and affects interactions requiring sharp senses and awareness. Intelligence determines the number of tagged skills, modifies learning speed, and affects interactions requiring insight and understanding. And Charisma determines the number of party members and affects interactions requiring personal magnetism. Starting off with our 16, 4 being the basic we can get. What I do like about increasing strength skills in this, so we'll go with strength. As we increase it, we'll see here, we immediately know that we do an extra 0 to 1 melee damage. Armor handling, recoil control immediately goes up by 3 points. And as we go up, we can see a identifiable amount of increase instead of an unknown what's going to happen if I actually have 20 strength and work that out later. So with maxed out 10 strength, we know we have all these. We gain our access to our feat for having 10 strength, which each one has a specific one for charisma, perception, dexterity, constitution, strength, and intelligence. I'd always say take the gifted at the start. The extra skill points is always really good, but later on we can always take one more of these. At the moment for 10 strength you get Juggernaut, natural damage resistance +1, melee graze damage +4, knockdowns become stagger. So we'll drop that back down. We go Constitution. We see here we have hit points, max implants, which the implants allow us to have augments to various organs and systems. So we go up that 25, 2, 3, up to 50 hit points, and 7 is the max implants. And we get regeneration +2, stats healed by 1 point per turn. Dexterity, we see our action points increasing, our invasion, initiative, and reaction, which is a ability to use a like a attack of opportunity when an enemy enters into a certain threat threshold. So we see I have 18 there. So if we know with our weapons that we have a heavy weapon that won't require multiple swings, we can drop our action points down slightly to get some more constitution or dexterity or whatever we need. So here we have evasion, disables enemy reaction or movement, so we'd be able to move around the battlefield more efficiently without worrying about getting counterattacked. Perception, increasing these as well. Aimed, +10 to graze, +10 grazes do +3 damage. So grazing means that if you have a slight miss, you still do some damage, but just not all the damage. Intelligence. So we have a tag skills, which your tag skills will have a 50% faster learning rate. And what else did that increase? Our extra learning rate. So how fast we use the skills. Every time you use a certain skill, such as a shotgun, getting kills with a shotgun and doing damage increases the experience towards it. So we're starting off with a 40 base on our shotgun there. Over time we increase our shotgun level, which is there, which means we do more damage, more accurate, and more bonuses. And for maxed out intelligence, granted extra feet every 3 levels starting at level 2, which is pretty nice. And our charisma, as we increase, we gain more followers, up to a maximum of 3, because the party size limit is 4. And we have here followers learning rate increased by 20%, and they all gain natural +1 for damage reduction. So for the purposes of this demo, I'm going to run 8 charisma is the minimum needed to have max of 3 followers to help us out with our combat. And we can decide what weapon we want to use. Each one has its own pros and cons. Pistol, shotgun, rifle, bladed and blunt for our melee. So I'm going to first pick up my gifted to get my extra skill points. And I like putting everything up in perception and dexterity to start off with, 1 into constitution, mainly because we don't have a lot of RP options available at this point to use our skills over here, which we'll go through. So we have our weapons down to there, critical strike, so how often I'm going to critical, helping our evasion, helping to increase our armor and reduce penalties from our armor. Biotech will help our healing, such as removing implants and getting better bonuses from healing. Computers will be your computer access and hacking. Electronics will be things about repairing and other things. Persuasion to get people to see your point of view, as usual. Streetwise is to more of a sense about people's desires, weaknesses, and things like that, like an intuition or like a bardic law. Impersonate, so you can try and pretend that you're somebody else or a member of a different faction. And then you have stealth for lockpick, stealing, and sneak. So for our tag skill, we're going to start off with a shotgun. We're going to tag into that. We have our points to increase levels. And we're going to go bladed for our melee, +1 to a shotgun. And then into all our defensive skills. And we have 1 spare, which we can't really do much with. So we're just going to throw that into persuasion for the moment. So now we have 18 action points per turn, 25 evasion, initiative is 60, which will pretty much guarantee we'll always hit first, 20% for reaction when someone enters our area, and a base accuracy of 70. And later on we can increase we've got 2% critical strike chance, damage multiplier 1.25, no natural damage reduction yet, no natural regeneration, noise detection takedown for when we're doing stealth, but we're not focusing on that. We have our story here. I'm not really going to go through it too much at the moment as it doesn't really matter, but the basics of it come in that you're on a live ship traveling to Proxima Centauri, and there was a lot of civil war between various branches of ancestry of the old fathers, new churches, and things that arise. You can go through your beliefs and opinions about everything, what you thought, who you think is right, who you think is wrong. Your standing with these factions will influence quests and things that will happen. Not so much in the demo, but it will happen later on. So you can stay neutral in all of these things like I'm choosing here. And we just skip through these. And let's see, where do we go? Alright. So we start off here, we have a basic thing. We have one store here, people to talk to. This is our medic. In terms of the game, medicine is free at the moment. Later it's going to cost us money, but luckily we get it for free. The woman stares blankly as if lost in thought while her metal-capped fingers move across a keyboard that isn't there. You can see she's jacked in with a long, translucent cable running from her half-shaved head to one of the machines. Finally registering your presence, she unplugs the cable from her head and her eyes come into focus. I've been trained in their healing protocols, if that's what you're asking, the woman says, impatiently waiting for you to get to the point. So she just talks a little bit about how implants and the medicine works. We won't go too in depth with that, but we'll click on here. So as we find items, we can improve our perception, intelligence, increase our max followers to 3 if you couldn't already do so. Synthetic heart to increase their hit points, toxic resistance, and each of these can be further upgraded later into rapid response and advanced targeting. But we don't have those items at the moment, so we'll come back to that later, and they are tied to our constitution score to be able to deal with them, with how many you can do. We have our gun store here. As you can see, we're pretty broke at the moment. We can't really afford much. But knowing weapons that we're not going to be using, such as this SMG, bolter rifle, and the truncheon. We see our rifle uses a 5.56 ammo type, 2 AP to reload, 5% accuracy bonus, 10% penetration, AP cost is 7, effective range 8, two-handed. And we have a submachine gun, 9 to 12 damage, projectile, SMG, AP cost 4, effective range 3, 9mm ammo, and has a graze of 10%, reaction of 10%, and stagger of 10. We're going to be going with our shotguns, and here we have a little bit of starting ammo, a smoke grenade in order to allow us to block off the enemy's vision. It also increases our ability to hit the enemies and decreases them. And a gas grenade, which is a poison grenade we can throw, reduces the enemy's strength, con, and dex by 1 point, and does 6 points of damage, poison damage for 3 turns. And the higher level ones are giving you more damage, so we have -3 to our stats and 10 points. But we can't really afford any of that at the moment, so we're going to ignore that. We're going to equip our shotgun. We have our melee weapon slot, which we can use for reactions, and we have our items, so eyes, visors, and goggles and things like that. Helmet for our head protection, breather to protect us against gases, outer jacket for armor, vest for armor, arms for arm armor, belt bag for things equipable such as your grenades, and gadget for things that we get later on, and there's where implants come in. And our varying ammo types from 9mm, 45, 5.56, shells, and cells are for our energy weapons, which are pretty rare. And we have our stuff here with general reputation, people consider us harmless, diplomacy, what people think of us, stealth, exploration, we haven't done anything, what the varying factions between the Protectors, Brotherhood, Church, and the Covenant all think of us, and our beliefs between xenophilia, xenophobia, libertarian authority, values, progressive tradition, beliefs, atheism, or theism. So we see here, firearms, shotgun, so we gain XP with that, which increases our accuracy and stats. So at the moment we have a 75% increase, accuracy I should say, for our shotgun and its regular range. Okay, most of the people around here we can't really talk to, they don't really have much to say. There's the start of a couple of quests around here that we can't really deal with, but we can pick up an additional follow later by talking to this guy. You know how to handle firearms. The proprietor asks, apparently not a man for pleasantries, but the quest line isn't available, but we can unlock the additional companion. Haven't lost any fingers yet. Excellent, he replies. Without any enthusiasm, you're hired. Hired for what? Why do you think someone hires a gun hand? Either because he expects trouble or is planning to stir up some. Pay is 100 credits on completion, nothing up front. Are we in business? We are. Alright, the proprietor says approvingly. The client is a fellow by the name of Trevor Chauncey, known around these parts as Chance. He's got a meter set up with the Granger boys to sell some kind of doohickey. He's worried things might get dicey. If they do, you get to stand between him and a hail of bullets. Why is he worried? Probably because he's trying to get swift and sell some of the junk, gussied up like valuable tech. If I'm right, they see through the bullshit and he'll have a problem on his hands, and he's a client, his problems are his own. We good? Yes, leave. Okay, here we have another store with some much better arms and weapons that we can't really afford yet, that we might come back to later. We have our quest giver here. We can't really do much with this guy, he disappears. We talk to this guy here, and we just go through. Someone to watch my back. Sounds like the right man for the job, which unlocks an additional companion that we can use because we have our level 3 of the, max followers. As combat does get a bit difficult if you're on your own and you start to get pumped up. We can't really talk to anyone around here at the moment. This woman here does have a quest we can pick up, but we can't finish it in the demo as it is. None of the quests really play out other than just doing the combat demo. But we'll pick them up just for the sake. Okay. Hopefully our character is actually running. There they are. Sometimes they can get stuck on the geometry, but that's something easily fixed. Okay, we're just going to save really quickly. Name this one Demo. Alright, this is the Chief Justice, where we get a job killing off criminals and for the basis of the combat. You're standing in the shadow of a massive arena. Dozens of shipping containers form the walls, and the lowest level provides seating for hundreds of spectators. A gantry crane towers overhead, rigged with several powerful projectors to illuminate the space below. You wonder for a moment if real daylight is as bright. You want to file a grievance or apply for a job. The speaker is wearing a gold-striped trench coat and marks him a man of importance. I'm looking for a job. We're running low on legal representatives for the prosecution, he admits with a sad shake of his head. Lost 3 officers last week in a string of challenging cases. Sure, I'll give it a try. Excellent, smiles the man. I am the court chief's justice, which means I'm in charge here. You'll start off as deputy prosecutor, sorting out minor cases, misdemeanors mostly. If you live, if you do well, you'll be promoted and get to prosecute more interesting cases, who knows. You might even make judge one day. Deputy prosecutor. Back on Earth, you'd be a probationary deputy district attorney, but seeing there are no districts here, not any attorneys neither. Deputy prosecutor will do. Ready for your first case? Sure. Let me see. The Chief Justice pulls an electronic notepad and begins swiping through a series of screens of of a very ornate, hard-to-read font. First offender is one John Doe, meaning he refused to tell us his name. We call that an aggravating circumstance. Our friend Mr. John Doe stands accused of cheating during a game of poker. He vehemently denies the charge. Don't they all, though? A jury of his peers, in this case, fellow poker players, agree that John Doe cheated and also had shifty eyes, so the case goes to trial. John's been on a diet of water and NTAB half ration for 3 weeks, so I'm guessing he'll present a pretty weak case. Alright, when do I get paid? A mercenary, eh? I would think continuing the legacy of our progressive judicial system would be reward enough. He waits a moment to see if you'll change your mind. But in any case, the convicted criminal forfeits all possessions to the prosecution, meaning you enjoy. So we're going to make our case. So starting off combat, during the first round, we can position ourselves anywhere within this range. And we can go here. This doesn't count as an AP. So we can decide if we want to hide behind a wall or not, or position out. We can see the enemy, so we know we attack him. From here we have a 46% chance to hit. 12 to 16 damage, 1 ammo before needing to be reloaded, and we have 18 AP. We hold down Alt, we can see we have a base chance to hit. The enemy's evasion has dropped it down to 15, range another 15%. How much chance we have to graze and weapon, critical, and passive effects. So now we have a 56% chance. We go back here, 31. So range is very important. And we have our grenades, which we can't throw during this stage, but we'll just show you when we go to throw one, you can see the area that it'll affect. During this time also, if you have any additional personal shields or augments in a gadget, you can activate them now before combat starts. So we see we've got our initiative of 60 and 28 for John Doe. We're not going to throw this grenade yet, even though grenades are incredibly handy. We are not going to take that for our weapons since we need to save them for later. These gas grenades are probably one of the most useful things for this demo. For our shooting, we have regular shot, damage 12 to 16, action cost 4, critical multiplier, snapshot, accuracy is less. This comes in with if enemies are close and certain weapons such as a pistol might have a minimum range required. You have to use a snapshot. It is less accurate but then does have a chance to hit. An aim shot, so we can target their center mass. On a critical hit will reduce their constitution. Their hands on critical, -4 AP. Aimed legs, kneecapped so they have less evasion, and a head knocked out. Other weapons will have other equips, such as burst fire for a submachine gun or pistol. When we look at the floor here, when we go to move, we see a red marker. That means the enemy has a chance for a reaction if we pass through there. It doesn't always activate, but it potentially does, and the line there stating where the enemy will be able to see and they can attack you. So the enemy didn't get to use his reaction. We're going to use an aim shot for his head. Okay, so he's dazed and knocked down. Because he's knocked down, he's lost 2 perception and he's stunned, so we gain valuable ability to attack. We cannot attack again with an aim shot because it costs 8 AP, but our regular shot will. And he's taken a significant amount of damage. So we'll end our turn. And now we will reload. He has a 23% chance of being hit. 28 now. We're going to move out since we want to maximize this easily. And 50, and he's dead. Yep, quite simple. And then we'll loot him. He had himself a revolver, which is much better than the pipe pistol that we had, a toothpick knife, protective vest, a jacket, and some boots. So now we'll equip our jacket, which gives us a damage reduction melee +1, damage reduction projectile +1, but a reduction to our sneak. So if we were stealthy character, we don't want heavier jackets. And we hold Alt, we can see a comparison between our weapons. And we have our boots here, exactly the same ones we had, so we can ignore them. Guilty as charged, eh? Let me know when you're ready for the next trial. A number 1 legal representative is out with a shattered kneecap and we've got a full docket. So we're going to see our medic. Can you fix me up? Let's see. You step inside the metal box and try to make yourself comfortable. A dirty display comes up to life, flashing messages in different languages, disclaiming all liability for manufacturing defects and requiring you to submit any claims to an arbitration on the back on Earth. In 3, 2, 1, says the woman. Something stabs you in the back. The pain is unbearable. You scream if you could, but all you can do is gasp for air, waiting for the drugs to kick in. Suddenly the machine powers down. Well, fuck, says the woman. I thought I fixed it last week. Hang in there. The pain spreads everywhere and your consciousness starts slipping away. Almost done, the woman says cheerfully. The machine powers up with a whine, instantly washing away the pain. Bone marrow extracted, generating stem cell prototype, starting blood transfusion. So in the demo, we get healed perfectly after each battle, which is a really handy thing for us. So we come back up here. Make sure our weapons are reloaded so we don't have to waste AP between fights. We will save again before every fight, which is handy because if you die, then that's the end of it. And when you do get companions, if they die in combat, they are dead for good. Maybe in the later game there's ways to revive them, I'm not sure, but at the moment, you die, you're done. Okay, so we're going to go talk to him, do our next case. We're just going to skip through since it's not really important. Here we have 3 enemies, all focusing on melee. I wouldn't really stress so much on trying to use a gas grenade here. We need to save that for a later fight. But what we will do is back up here, so to get them to waste a lot of their AP running towards us. And we have 36, 20, so we'll do a shot onto him once combat starts, just to try and get some damage. So we've got some damage, reload, and we missed. Alright, so we've already got damage on this guy, we're going to try and finish him off. And he's dead. Normally, if we have 1 round left, if you have ammo left in your weapon and someone enters your threat area, you can get a reaction on them. But since our weapon was empty, we couldn't. So we have a 70 and a 74 we'll take. We don't have for an aim shot, so we just do a regular. Okay. So see here we have a reaction attack, so we can counter with our melee weapon. Which is good to always have a melee weapon on us, because if we get a reaction, we end up doing quite a bit of damage back to them. Okay, so he's been severely hurt. We'll take an aim shot at his head. He's dead. We'll reload and do some damage to him. And this should finish it off. Oop, man, we missed. Okay, next round should be enough to finish him. And he's dead. Okay, let's loot everything from him. Okay, so now we have some new gear. We can check our stats. Everything is the same. We have a helmet now, which gives us plus damage reduction for melee and projectile. You'll often have to make decisions between whether you want more projectile or melee resistance, depending on the gear. Here we have some new boots, which give us 1 more point in damage reduction melee. And we have an extra 2 pairs of them. Luckily, we have a toothpick knife, but that's a bladed, and we don't want that. So we're going to ignore that for now. Alrighty, just back out for a second. save. We'll check our ammo level for our shotgun shells. Luckily we will check that because we only have one. Okay, we are going to buy some shotgun shells. So we click on our items here to increase back how many we're going to buy. So we're just going to buy 10 and make sure that we're fully loaded. Alright. Now our enemy here, he has a energy shield which helps deflect away damage from your character whether by melee or range. Has a health of 15, his health is 40, and is something very handy to have on your characters, so we have to try and overcome his advantage here. So we are going to go there, start our combat. We'll go here for the extra damage resistance, make a shot, and we missed. So we've lost some damage off his shield and some off his health. And he got a critical hit on us and took us down in one shot. Well, that's why we saved. And that's why we have our armor set up. That's why we have our random RNG where those things can happen, but that's just life. And we make sure to take our aim shot. Okay, so we're going to graze. We'll end our turn. So he missed. This guy has a double barrel shotgun. So he failed his reactive shot. We're going to swap to our melee weapon. This is a little bit easier to take him on with this. We're going to go aimed head and take a swipe. And we missed. How unfortunate. We'll take a regular hit. So we did a decent amount of damage there. Alright, so we're still alive. Let's go for a double attack. Okay, so he's nearly dead. We have no AP, so let's just pray he misses a few. And he killed us. That's just the nature of this game. You are going to die in combat quite a bit. We're going to open up with our melee attack. So we got a good amount of damage done to him there. We pray he doesn't get a critical. And he killed us there. So larger parties does help with this, but we do hit points where we end up suffering quite a bit of negative rolls in our combat, but it's just keep going until we get there. We'll go aimed shot. And turn. Right, we're going to use our previous strategy again. Okay, so he got a reaction shot there on us. He got lucky that time. Alright, so we got a good stagger on him there. Okay, so we got a good run that turn. Use another aimed. Oh, we have no ammunition. Well, that was very unfortunate. And he killed us, that was funny. Okay, so we've got another stagger. Okay, so we got staggered then. Let's just go for an attack. We go for a regular shot. Okay, so he's nearly dead. Ooh, he missed us luckily. And he's dead finally. Okay. So we'll loot everything. Okay, so now we have access to a shotgun. Multi-barrel is called the Street Sweeper. Compact 4-barrel shotgun, hacked together from scavenged parts. It ain't much to look at, but to get the job done. Damage 11 to 14. Projectile shotgun AP cost 5. Effective range 4. Ammo 3 or 4, so we don't have to reload as much. And we have a 5% increased accuracy, graze, penetration, knockdown. So we'll immediately take that. He has his vest here, which is slightly 1 point better on projectile, so we'll take that. This jacket is exactly the same, some arm guards, and now we have his energy shield, which gives us some damage protection from shots. So we immediately put that on, and now we own that. Okay. Alright. Well done, my dear. This job tends to grind people down, but you're hardly breaking a sweat out there. Still, maybe you ought to get you an assistant to help out with your caseload. That would be nice. Alright, give me a couple of hours. So now we have our friend, Billy. Who is admittedly pretty useless in terms of a companion, but any help at this point is better than none. So we just look at his weapon here. What he does more damage, has a longer effective range and AP cost, even though it's pretty bad with only 1 ammo. We'll give him a melee weapon to hold on to. We'll give him a jacket. And everything else is there. Okay, we've hit level 2, so we can get an additional feat. So we are going to take, where is it? Here, shotgun accuracy plus the stagger. Okay, so now we're just going to go sell some of this excess junk that we're carrying. Trade that in. And now we have 360 credits. We have 17 shells left, which is at least something. But we don't really have much to buy a decent weapon yet, so we're just going to ignore that for now. Just going to check something really quick here. talk to him. We'll see down the bottom here. Well, we've got our log, aimed head, hit, autumn hit, hard bend for 15, 3, DRO, shield, DR3. I'm not exactly sure the reference to them, but damage reduction. 12 points ballistic damage, crit 18, hit 38, graze 34, rolled a 19. Alright. So you see here we gain 24 learning points in evasion, armor, shotgun increased to 4. So we'll go to our character screen. So we see here we have our XP, so we gain our things by evading enemy attacks, wearing armor and doing that. Our shotgun is at level 4, so our base accuracy is now 95. And we have a tag skill, so it learns faster. Over here we have Billy, we have to give him one in, at the moment, pistols. We could spec him into rifles if we really wanted to, since his pistols can be handy, but rifles are also good. But we're going to leave him on pistols for the moment since we don't really have a good one. He has 2 stats that we can do, so we're going to give him a point in critical strike, as we have his stats over here. Alright. Alright, we'll quickly do one more fight. So now we see here this enemy has an additional shielding. This one does damage reduction similar to our shield, but makes you harder to hit in addition. So now we've got 2 people. We'll show you a little bit here. You can see that a character is blocked as Billy is trying to shoot through my main character. So we're going to move Billy back here to keep him alive, because he is pretty useless. My main character, we're going to activate our energy shield, which gives us a plus damage reduction of 3. And will keep us alive a little bit longer. We're going to take cover there to increase it again. And now we have with our weapon, we have a double shot. So we do 2 shots with a reduced accuracy of 15, but potentially doing between 22 to 28 damage. But I like taking aim shots to try and get the critical hit. So we have 41, 38, 75. So I'm going to take a shot at the grinder. Once combat starts, of course. Alright, so he's dazed. Alright, so we've nearly killed him, and we still have 2 shots left. We could decide, I don't think we can reload with this low one, but there we go. Sharpshooter missed. He grazed, so slight damage reduction there. Billy, 11, 19, 27. He doesn't have the best range on this, but I'm waiting for these guys to come more into range here, so he'll have a better chance. So I'm going to see this to wait for them to come to me. You'll see here with Billy, he has a 4 in parentheses, which gives him 4 AP worth of bonus movement, which won't take from his 16 here. So let's see if we can get a good hit on the grinder. And we've killed the grinder. Excellent. We'll make sure to reload, so if someone comes into his range, he can get a critical hit. And I think I'll leave it there, so that way when this guy comes up, okay. So now we can take a shot. I could go double shot for 31, aim shot for 51, so I'm going to take the more guaranteed hit. So he's dazed and down. We have 5 AP left, which we can swap to a regular shot, and now 95%. We've done quite a bit of damage. His turn. He's nearly killed me, but hopefully this will be solved soon. Okay, Billy has a 95% chance to hit. we'll swap down to his regular shot. And we can't reload, so we'll end our turn there. Alright, so we're going to shoot him. After we reload, of course. Okay, so we're at 36. We might back up here in order to give ourselves a little bit more of a thing. Normally I would have thrown my gas grenade on this level, but I'm deciding to make it a little bit more difficult. And we can save it for a later fight. Let's see, 36%. No, I'm going to back up in order to give myself some more survivability. Okay, Billy has a 14% chance to hit. If Billy dies in this area, he's dead for good, so we do not want that. Okay. We're just going to take an aim strike. We're at 14% or 5. So let's just take a shot. Ooh, we got a really good shot there. That makes me happy. And we killed him. That was some really good luck. I was expecting to die there, to be honest. So now we get some different types of helmets, some smart goggles, and the distortion field. So we just quickly loot everything. So we see here now we've got a larger rifle, Old Betsy, if we specialized into them. We have a Traveler's Coat, which gives us more melee, so we're going to swap into that. The helmets give us 3 melee, 2 projectile, or 2 melee and 3 projectile. So I'm going to take that one to give me more defense there. Our armors are all the same. We'll swap to Billy. Jacket is the same. Give him a distortion field. Give him the helmet. We have some better boots, which I'll put onto my character in order to give her a bit more survivability. Those boots are exactly the same. We'll give Billy the heavier armor over here since he needs it. And then we have 2 pairs of smart goggles, which give us thermal vision, so we can see enemies hidden in types of things, and things relating to thermal and resistant to opticals, so say like flashbangs and things like that may try to blind us. Alright. Okay, what's next? Etc, etc. Put that as a public defender. I need time to prepare. And now because I have sufficient charisma, if we only had enough for one person, we could only ever take Billy. But we also have a mercenary here, Mason, who is a melee tank that we could swap off and take him instead of Billy. With enough charisma for 2, we can take both of them. If we have 3, then when later on we can then have 3 people. So now we have Mason. We see here he has max strength, con, and then slowly coming down here, he has a heavy utility bar and a backup shotgun. And some quite good stuff there. And most of it's much better than what I have. Oops. So we'll leave him with all the heavier gear that he needs. And the melee is definitely worse there, so keep... Oh, this truncheon is better. 11 to 13. AP cost is increased, stagger is increased. And we see here he has 10% aimed, where if you're going to aim at the utility bar, that gives you a little bit better, but this has also a higher level to stagger, so... and damage, so we might swap it. There we go. And ammo, we have 10 cells, and we have plenty of ammo for everything. So we're just going to go sell all our excess gear. We don't need that, that, that. So now we have 740. This double barrel shotgun, I don't really like it. It does have a little bit more damage, but its effective range is only 2, and I don't really have the constitution to support that at the moment. And we have different types of pistols that Billy could use, but these are effective ranges a lot lower, each one having its own promise. And there's is the Bulldog, which has slightly longer range, less bullets, so it's always a very trade-off with what you want to do. So we see here with the different types of shotguns. With mine, we have accuracy, slightly less graze, but better penetration and knockdown, while the other one has better graze, critical chance, and stagger, but requires vastly shorter range. And a heavier warhammer, which would be good for our tank at a later point. So now we'll do one more combat. But first, Billy, you can get rid of that. Put it onto Mason since he needs the additional armor. Okay, we can give Mason, on my main character, new feet. And things such as the second wind and bloodlust can be really nice. 50% critical chance for the next attack, or on kill plus 6 action points. We're going to go for second win. Billy can use one. We're going to increase his pistol, so his accuracy and reaction are increased. And Mason, we don't need anything at the moment. So we'll do a quick save. Make sure all our weapons are fully loaded before we enter into combat. Okay. So we'll make our case. So here we have people, they're a little bit heavier armed. I'm going to position our main character here. Engage her energy shield. Mason can go up front, activate his distortion, and Billy I'm going to bring around to the side and have him hide in here when the combat starts. So starting off, I'm going to use a gas grenade. Make sure to get all the enemies and not my characters. Now they're all going to take damage after the first turn. So over 60% there, so I'm going to aim for the public defender. We got a really good shot on him. We can get a snapshot off, which I think I'll do to try and finish him off. At least some damage. Ooh, he killed Billy with his energy pistol. Which we might reload that because I do not want Billy to die just yet. The combat's very random, so you could end up having a good run. I've had good runs, I've had bad runs where all the characters die from critical hits pretty quickly. So we'll throw a gas grenade again. We're going to aim shot. No stagger that time. Okay, so Billy survived. Put him into cover. And now we have 59, 54, 22. I'm going to go for an aimed shot. Got to reload. Go for a regular shot. So you see here the distortion field does damage when someone tries to attack him in melee. He has severely reduced strength, dexterity, constitution, perception, and his 2-hit chance is -5 and poison gas. So we are going to use, we can go for double strike or a knockdown if we wish to knock them down. We have regular attack, power attack to do bonus damage, or just a fast attack. So for this one, we will go for double strike. And we have killed him. That's nice. I'm going to try and protect Billy here by moving him up. We have a 5% and we are blocked. So I'm going to try and move our main character over here. 38 and 36. We don't have enough for an aimed shot. We'll take this one. Okay, Billy, we can move him all the way back to here since he's not going to get staggered. The enemy should not be able to hit him, so we're going to have him hide. And our main character died that time. Okay, let's hit him with a double. And he missed, and he gets a reaction. Let's see, can we do a quick attack? Yes. So we see here we have a lot of random chance. You'll save and reload a lot in combat. It's just the nature of the game. Let's go for that one. Just a regular attack should kill him. Let's go for a regular. We missed, unfortunately. That was a good number of misses. Go for double. Go for a regular. He's dead. And let's pray that we can kill him. Okay, so we got a second win. Unfortunately, Billy died there, but we could always reload and try again multiple times to keep him alive, which normally will. Here we have our bionic eye, which we can then use to increase our perception permanently by +1, and then further upgrade later, which we can do at the medical station. An energy pistol, which requires energy cells, but does significantly more damage than anything else we have. A pepper box, a scab armor, which we can see here, has significant more melee, projectile, and energy damage reduction, while having more severe penalties to evasion. So the heavier armor you have, the easier it's going to be to hit you and be a stealthy character if you are sneaking. We have a jacket, different swords, and a heavier helmet there, and a new assault rifle. We get the extra body, Carter. We need time to prepare. So here we see, if we kept Billy alive, we'd have him as well. We have Carter Halston, who is a submachine gun expert. And we see with his stats. So we can look at his stats over here. He's got points in submachine guns. So you specialize in that. Give him some critical strike. Give him some evasion. And we see his stats, what he's got there for his submachine guns. So he's got his burst, he's less AP, and accuracy. And shotgun's about to level up to grade 4. And we see here, because we killed some Brotherhood members, we are now -5 reputation and considered a pest with them. You can always, if you want to remove party members, click on the X and dismiss them. They will just remain back at the courthouse. If you'd like to get more, if you could only have 2 party members instead of the maximum 3. And we see here all of the things that we got for our learning points. And just as we continue the fights, we gain more money, get better equipment, different types of helmets, which, where am I? We get different types of helmets that we can carry, give us different resistances, gas masks, which allow us to survive gases and toxicity, and things like that. So for a basic concept of the combat is what we've seen here. The full game will definitely have more in terms of using these other skills such as impersonate, streetwise persuasion, stealth, lockpick, etc. Which I tend to always favor my persuasion, speechcraft characters, and using these guys to do a bit more of the combat is my personal preference, and which I'll be doing when the game launches in its alpha state in a few days. And about a third of the game will launch at the start, and then slowly it'll increase. So I'll look forward to being able to play through more and seeing how all these different skills will impact them. Alright, I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I hope that you found this informative. If there's anything that you liked about it, or things that you may not like about this demo, or you may be interested in playing, I'd like to see any discussion down in the comments below, and I shall see you all in the colony ship soon.